Hello everyone, I'm Deepti from Maxxcell, an IELTS expert who has trained many students to get their desired band score, either to get into an university, to study abroad, or to work in a foreign country. In today's video, we will look into how to improve your comprehension in the IELTS exam. If you wish to receive updates in relation to such content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've also made a series of videos in relation to different sections pertaining to IELTS exam. So if you wish to look into those, you can always do so. Now coming back to the video, how to improve comprehension in the IELTS exam. Now IELTS questions or in the exam, the comprehension abilities are essential and across all 4 sections of the test. For example, be it listening, be it writing, be it reading, and speaking. Yes, so below are in this video, we will look into some of the effective strategies to improve your comprehension and elevate your IELTS performance. So let us look into the different strategies which are required to score high. Now, when it comes to the first one, okay, so we will see what is the first one. So first one is to broaden your vocabulary. Now, IELTS material, it encompasses a diverse range of vocabulary. And if you have mastery over different terms, like for example, if you know synonyms, and if you are able to paraphrase, then in that case, if you have mastery in both these, then answering and comprehending in IELTS exam becomes much more easier. Okay, for example, now there are certain words which if you know synonym for example, if you have happy, then the synonym for that will be elated. Okay, for example, a normal word like, the synonym will be adore. Okay, so if you are able to do this, then in the IELTS exam, scoring high becomes quite easy. Now, in this particular parameter or in this particular strategy, our main aim should be you need to learn at least 10 new words every single day. So each day, if you are able to learn 10 new words, then it will be very easy to increase your vocabulary. Okay, and now how do you do this? The main thing what you can do is that you need to start getting yourself acquainted with newspapers. So this is the best way to increase your vocabulary. The next thing is by reading blogs. So there are various blogs which are available on various topics online. So you can start reading them. And at the same time, you can also go through some journals as well. Okay. And what you need to do when you're reading all this, the main focus of yours should be on the vocabulary. So that is our main aim. So why are we doing all these activities? To increase your vocabulary and able to relate it in the context. And when you know the various vocabulary, then you need to start using it in a sentence. So that is how it will help you in relation to writing, it will help you in relation to your speaking, and at the same time, it will help you in other 2 sections which are reading and listening. Yes, so this is the first strategy, that is to broaden your vocabulary. The next one is to employ active reading techniques. Now, what do you mean by this particular parameter or this particular strategy? Now, merely reading, just if you read in isolation, then it is insufficient. So, what you need to do when you are reading, you need to have active engagement You follow? So you need to have active engagement and with the text, whatever you're reading. Okay, so then what you have to do, there are certain things which you need to follow. So firstly, it is scheming. So scheming is to know the main idea of the particular paragraph or whatever text you have read. Okay, so this will help you mainly in relation to different types of questions in the exam, especially in reading when it comes to your matching headings. So when it comes to this type of question, it helps here. Then the next particular point which you can focus on is scanning. Now, what is scanning? Scanning is nothing but you focus on specific names. Okay, then you focus on certain dates and keywords. So these are certain things which you need to focus on, and this will be beneficial in relation to all the other details which are required when you are answering the questions in the IELTS exam. The next thing is using highlighting. So what do you mean by this? So in paper-based test, of course, you are using pencil, so you can directly, highlight the text using the pencil. However, when it comes to your computer-based test, you can always highlight using the mouse. So you can do those techniques in order to grasp the particular text. Okay. Now, the main thing here, what you need to do is you need to, how will you keep yourself engaged in this type of strategy? So, what do you have to do here is that you need to start reading maybe BBC News, which uses a lot of complex vocabulary. Then you can watch also National Geographic channel. Okay, and you need to start summarizing whatever you have read or whatever you have watched. Yes, so this is about employing in the active reading techniques. Now let us go on to the next point, next strategy, which is about developing listening and comprehension skills. So what do you do when it comes to this particular strategy? Now in IELTS listening section, okay, it features various accents. So there are various accents which you need to able to understand when it comes to the listening section, and the potential distractors or distractions that may lead to confusion. So if you are not able to understand various accents, then automatically what happens is that it leads to, if you are not able to understand, okay, so then it leads to distractions. So if you're not able to understand, what happens, it can lead to a wrong answer, right? Yes. Now, how do you how do you develop your listening and comprehension skills? In this case, what you need to do is you need to start listening to TED Talk. Okay, and then you can also listen to some BBC podcasts. So what happens is that you get accustomed to various accents here, and automatically it will enhance your listening skills. So when you do this and this, automatically it helps you to enhance your listening skills. You follow? Okay, so utilize the shadowing technique as well. So repeat after native speakers to improve comprehension. So what you can do is you can always use the shadowing technique. So this is nothing but repeating after listening. Okay, so this is a very useful technique and it is used by many IELTS aspirants. Okay, so concentrate on keywords. Now, when it comes to listening section or even, overall as for the IELTS test, what you need to do is you need to always focus on the names, numbers, and at the same time when you're listening and typing. Okay, now what happens here is that watch English films with subtitles initially, then attempt to watch them without. So what you can do is initially you have seen many movies, they have subtitles, right? So what you can do is you can start listening to them and then after some time you need to watch it without those subtitles just to get accustomed to the accent. Okay, then let us go on to the next strategy, which is understand paraphrasing and synonyms. So IELTS questions, they frequently rephrase the content. So mainly the content, whatever is used, is rephrased. It is not mentioned as it is in the passages or in the audio. So when it comes to the passage or when it comes to the audio, okay, what happens is that it is always rephrased. Okay, so if you are able to paraphrase well and if you are able to know the synonyms, okay, then what happens is that it is very easy and it becomes, very easy to score. Now, familiarize yourself with common IELTS phrases. For example, in case of increase, okay, the very common word for this is rise or elevated. Yes, so these are the different synonyms when it comes to increase. And what you can do is you can always participate in an exercise of rephrasing. So what happens is that when you indulge in this type of activity, automatically you get into the practice of paraphrasing and using different words which has the similar meaning. Fine. Okay, so this is in relation to your understanding the paraphrasing and synonyms. So if you are well or if you are, excellent in doing this type of things, then what happens is that it is very easy to comprehend. The next one is to improve logical thinking and context understanding. So what happens here is that when it comes to logical thinking, that is, most of the IELTS material, both written and audios, often suggest rather than explicitly present the information. So, what happens is that the information is always given in a suggestive manner. Okay, so engage in critical reading. For example, consider what message is the author conveying. So, what happens is that you need to start to read in between the lines. So, identify the causal relationship. For instance, it will be mentioned due to this, okay, that occurred. You understanding, or conversely, in contrast, why? Okay, so there are different things which are used. So the main thing what you need to understand here is what is the message. Okay, so what is the message which is conveyed and what is the question asking. So what you need to do here is that read a particular paragraph or listen to the particular audio and then anticipate the subsequent content before verifying. So this is something which you need to do when it comes to improve logical thinking and context understanding. Okay, and the next one is optimize your time management. Now, when it comes to any exam, this time management is a vital. Why? Because this test has a specific time frame within which you need to complete it. So, your managing time is very important. Now, numerous students, they face challenges due to time constraints, and what you need to do is you need to practice each section within the time frame within which you need to answer them. So set timers. So if you are able to set time and complete it within that, then also it becomes quite easy. Okay, so utilize IELTS timers during the practice sessions to replicate exam scenarios. So what happens is that if you set a time and if you're able to complete the task within that time frame, so in that case, you will excel in the exam. Okay, and the last strategy which you need to focus on is the undertake full length mock test. Now, engaging in authentic test exams simultaneously enhances endurance and reading speed. Okay, complete one full test each week and analyze your errors. So, what you need to do is answer all sections within the time frame. Okay, so one thing what happens during this is that you get a feel of the real time scenario, and at the same time it creates an environment that mimics test conditions. No interruptions, no distractions, and or additional time you have to take. Okay, so what you need to do is if you take full length mock test, then in that case it will help you to do well, and also at the same time you get a lot of practice as well. Okay, so this were the few strategies which you need to follow in order to improve your comprehension when it comes to IELTS exam. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.